guys, welcome to my channel. I want to be a cabin crew. How to apply for Emirates? First of all, you need to visit their website. I will post the link in the description of this video. You have to check the countries where Emirates conducts recruitment events called open days. At this moment, if I check their website, there are recruitment events announced in 30 countries for December 2018. If your country is not there, check their website from time to time because their events are updated weekly. However, there are countries where they have never come. The good thing is that you can attend an open day in any country you want. Checking their events, you will probably notice that there are two types of events. This is called open day and this one assessment day invitation only. If an open day is going to be held in your country, you just go without applying online. If an assessment day is announced for your country, then you have to apply online and only if you receive an invitation you can attend the recruitment event. What happens during a recruitment event? What are the steps and how long does it take? Depending on the number of candidates, it can take 1 day or 2 days. Usually, if there are less than 200-300 candidates, everything will take place in 1 day. What do you need to attend an open day? You just need a passport type picture and a CV. The first step of the day is called CV drop-off. Each candidate will go one by one in front of one of the recruiters. You have to hand over your CV and the picture while the recruiter will ask you 1-2 questions. The most common questions are: how are you? What is your current job? Why Emirates? Why cabin crew? Is this your first time applying for Emirates? Each candidate has around 1 minute with the recruiter, sometimes even less if there are many candidates. If the event takes 2 days, this is all for the first day. After the CV drop-off, you can go home and wait for an email or a telephone call to tell you that you are invited to attend the second day. The recruiter will say something like, you will get an answer by 7 p.m. or by 8 p.m. If you don't get any answer, this means you haven't passed. If everything takes place in just 1 day, the recruiter will ask you to come at a certain hour, let's say 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. At that time, you will find a list on the door with all the candidates' names. The highlighted names are the successful ones. If your name is highlighted, you and the other successful candidates will be invited inside the conference room where the recruiters will offer you a presentation about the company. Each candidate will receive a sticker with a number. You have to put it on your shirt or jacket so it will be visible. The next step of the day is a group exercise. This exercise has different forms. I will tell you 3 forms of this exercise so you will know what to expect. The first type of the exercise consists of 20-25 candidates will sit in a circle and you have to work in pairs. You have 10 minutes to talk with the person seated next to you. During these 10 minutes, the recruiter will watch all of you and take notes. After these 10 minutes, each candidate will stand up and present his partner. You have to talk around 1 minute. For example, you can say, "Hi everyone, I would like to present you my colleague, Chris. She studied marketing and she is currently working as a sales assistant in a makeup store. She enjoys interacting with her customers and helping them to find the best products in the store. She is a very positive and friendly person, as I was able to see, and she enjoys new challenges." Another type of exercise can be, again, you are sitting in a big circle. This time you have to work in groups of 3 or 4 people. Each group will receive a card. On the card is written one job. For example, painter, florist, jeweler, baker, etc. You have around 10 minutes to talk with your colleagues. Again, the recruiter will be watching you and taking notes while you are talking. After these 10 minutes, each group has to present different aspects of the job that they have on the paper, but without mentioning the job. The group members have to stand up and each of them will say 2-3 sentences. For example, if you have baker on your card, you can say, "This person is a person who has to wake up very early in the morning. He has to work with ingredients and recipes." The other groups have to guess what job you have on the paper. See, it's quite enjoyable. If you don't take the exercise too seriously, you can actually have fun. The third form of the exercise is, again, sitting in a circle of 20-25 people and working in groups of 3. You will receive 2 cards. On one card you can find the name of a job. On the other card you can find an object. For example, toothbrush, ring, pillow, etc. Again, you have 10-15 minutes to talk with your colleagues. Each of you has to find one quality that you need in order to perform the job that you have on the paper. Also, you have to make a connection between the job and the object that you got. For example, what a painter can do with a toothbrush. When the 10 minutes are gone, the group members have to stand up. Each person will say one quality and why that quality is needed. One of you will also have to present the link between the job and the object. These are the 3 forms of the first group exercise. After this exercise, all candidates will leave the room while the recruiters will take a decision. In few minutes, one of the recruiters will come out with a list. Only the successful candidates will be on the list. The last step of the day is another group exercise. This one is always the same. Before starting the group exercise, each candidate has to pass the reach test. You have to be able to reach 212 centimeters with your hand, and also your height should be at least 160 centimeters. You have to declare if you have any visible scars or tattoos. Then the group exercise can start. Around 10 candidates will sit in a circle. The task will be, you are the manager of a hotel. You have only 2 available rooms and 8 customers. All of them are important. One is a celebrity, one is a politician, one is a mother with a child, one is an old lady, etc. Your group has 15 minutes to take a decision. In the end, someone has to present the group decision. The recruiter will pick up 3-4 candidates and have a role play with them. She will act as an angry customer that haven't received the room. The purpose of this exercise is to see how you interact with each other, to see if you are a team player. You don't have to talk too much, but you don't have to be shy and say nothing. After another round of elimination, the candidates will have to fill some forms. Your English test, psychometric test, and final interview will be done online. The English test is quite easy, containing multiple choice questions, grammar, vocabulary, and comprehension questions. The psychometric test or personality test has to be finished in maximum 25 minutes, and it contains the same few questions but asked in a different way, so they will figure out if you try to lie. The final interview will be scheduled on a certain day at a specific hour. It is a video interview with a recruiter and you will be mostly asked questions based on your CV. For example, tell me about a situation when you offered an excellent customer service, or give me an example of situation when you had to deal with a difficult customer. After this, you'll receive the final answer in few weeks. The event will be held in a conference room. 2 or more recruiters will sit behind desks and meet each candidate individually. You will wait outside until called forward. Once inside, you will hand over your documents to a recruiter. The recruiter will review your CV and you may be asked some short questions. The most common questions are: how are you? What is your current job? Why do you want to be a cabin crew? Or why Qatar Airways? If the recruiter considers that you are a suitable candidate, you will be given an invitation for the next day. Sometimes you can get the invitation via email or phone call later that day. but most of the times the invitation is given on spot. Let's start with the number one tip. Before attending an open day, I recommend you to have a look at the requirements. Don't make the effort to attend the event if you are not at least 21 years old or you cannot reach 212 centimeters with your hand. These requirements are not flexible. You can find all the requirements in my video called Qatar Airways Cabin Crew Requirements. I will post the link to that video in the description of this video. I don't want to make this video 1 hour long. This is why I will send you to few other videos from my channel. Tip number 2. Prepare your documents. You will be needing a CV and one passport type picture for the open day. During the final interview, you will also be asked to submit a copy of your passport and a copy of the highest educational certificate. After the final interview, you will be requested to submit online a full-length photograph. You can find a CV sample and tips for your CV in my video called Qatar Airways Cabin Crew CV Sample and Tips. Also, you can see what are the requirements regarding the 2 photographs that you need to have in my video called Photograph Requirements. Tip number 3. Do your online research. You should know when the airline was founded, who is the CEO, what types of aircraft they have, or what is their slogan. This research will help you answer the question, why Qatar Airways? Tip number 4. Prepare your attire. On the website is mentioned just formal business attire. What does it mean? For male candidates, wear a suit, shirt, classic shoes and a tie. For female candidates, I recommend a skirt and a shirt or a classic dress, accessorized with heels, a handbag, and mandatory stockings. Don't wear any crazy colors such as green, pink or orange. I recommend you to choose black, grey, dark brown or navy blue. For your shirt, choose white or light blue. Few more important tips. Men should be clean shaved. Women should wear makeup. Males and females should wear a watch. A cabin crew must wear a watch at all times. Just try to look neat and professional. Don't wear unnecessary jewelry. Don't wear a skirt that is too tight or short. Wear comfortable shoes. Keep in mind that the event can take hours. Put your hair up in a bun or a ponytail. You can find all our grooming standards in my video called Grooming Standards. What lipstick colors can we wear, what nail polish colors are allowed, how the watch should look like, etc. You don't have to respect all those guidelines because they are made for cabin crew, but you can try to follow them as much as possible. If you don't have a watch that is up to our standards, don't buy one just for the open day. Tip number 5. Be sociable. Talk with the other candidates during the day. Don't sit in a corner buttoning your phone. Show that you're an outgoing person and you can make friends easily. Remember, as a cabin crew, you'll be working with different cabin crew every day. You don't need to speak to every single person in the room. Politely ask to join a group and encourage others to take part as well. Tip number 6. Smile. A cabin crew has to welcome his customers with a wide smile on his face. No matter that you are tired or you had a bad day, you need to smile and spread good energy around you. While handing out your CV, don't forget, offer it with a big smile on your face. Tip number 7. Eye contact. Make sure you make eye contact while handing out your CV or whenever you are interacting with the recruiters. It shows that you are confident, prepared, and honest. However, don't stare at the recruiters while talking with them. Just make the right amount of eye contact without exaggerating. Tip number 8. Body language. Be careful about your body language throughout the day, not only when you are in front of the recruiters. You can be watched at all times. Don't chew gum, remove your shoes, use your phone continuously, talk loud, etc. Tip number 9. What to say while dropping off your CV. I would suggest you to say something like this. Good morning, how are you? Or good morning, my name is Chris, this is my CV. Don't talk too much, but don't be silent while handing out your CV. Tip number 10. Considering that many times there are hundreds of candidates attending an open day, the most important thing is the connection that you create with the recruiter in that 1 minute of interaction. This is why you can see candidates wearing jeans receiving an invitation, because they were able to create a connection with the recruiter and show that they have the right personality for this job. They simply showed a genuine smile and spread positive energy around them. If you're lucky to get an invitation for the assessment day, let me tell you what stages you need to pass. The process is much easier now than it used to be. First of all, there is no group exercise or public speaking test. The assessment day will normally be held the day after the open day. You will be introduced to the airline and the role of cabin crew with a short presentation. You will learn about life in Qatar and have the opportunity to ask questions. This can go on for some time. Ensure that you remain engaged and respectful of the recruiters throughout the entire presentation. The first test of the day is the English test. This test used to include an essay and few math questions, but that is not the case anymore. Now this test includes 35 multiple choice questions and you need to solve it in 30 minutes. That is quite a lot, so you need to be fast, but at the same time you need to concentrate. There is a section where you have to write synonyms for some words. Then, a section containing dialogues between a customer and the cabin crew, and you need to fill some missing words. Also, you are given a text and there are 10 comprehension questions. I don't remember the questions and I don't think there is anyone with such a good memory. However, I will try to make a video as soon as possible with some similar exercises. After the English test, the first round of eliminations will be done. The second part of the assessment day is called reach test. You will go one by one into a separate room where you will be asked to reach 212 centimeters with your hand. Female candidates have to remove their shoes, but they can stand on tiptoes. Standing like a ballerina is not allowed. Male candidates don't need to remove their shoes, but they cannot stand on tiptoes. I advise you to remove your jacket before trying to reach the line if you know that you are near the limit. I know from some crew that yoga and swimming can help you stretch more. So, if you can currently reach few centimeters less, you should start exercising. Anyway, don't expect miracles. This will not help you stretch 10 centimeters more. After this test, the recruiters will ask you if you have any tattoo, scars or birthmarks. Keep in mind that tattoos are not allowed at all, visible or not visible in uniform, and you will be eliminated if you have one. Scars or birthmarks that are not visible in uniform are not a problem. If you are worried about the scars that are visible in uniform, check my video called Scars and Birthmarks. After this test, the recruiters will ask you to pick a piece of paper. On the paper you will find a question, such as, what is your biggest weakness? Why do you want to work for Qatar Airways? What are your best qualities? Tell me about a situation when you worked in a team. What would you change about yourself? Tell me about a situation with a happy customer. You don't have to talk too much, 1 minute is enough. Sometimes they don't ask you to pick a piece of paper, but they will ask you 1 or 2 questions based on your CV. After this, the last round of eliminations is done. The lucky candidates will have to pass the last step, the final interview. This can be held after the assessment day or you can be scheduled for the next day. It usually takes 10 minutes and you will be asked questions based on your CV. You can find the most common questions and the best way to answer them in my video called Final Interview Questions. After the final interview, the big waiting starts. How long does it take? It depends from candidate to candidate. It can take 1 month or it can take 4 months. You can see exactly what mails you are going to receive after the final interview in my video called Cabin Crew Medicals, What Happens After the Final Interview. Let's find out how to apply for this airline. First of all, you need to apply online on their website. I will leave the link in the description of this video. Then, if your online application is successful, you will be invited to attend an assessment day. At this moment, December 2018, there are assessment days announced only in Abu Dhabi, but most probably they will start recruiting in different cities around the world as they did few years ago. When you are completing your online application, you will be asked to write 2 preferred destinations for your assessment day. If you are not willing to travel, just write your country capital and one more city from a nearby country. But if you want to get the job as fast as possible, you can write that you are willing to attend an assessment day in Abu Dhabi. Now let's see what happens during an assessment day, as the process is changed and the stages are not as they were 2 years ago. The first step is the CV drop-off. Basically, you have to hand over your CV and the registration form. 2 recruiters will take them and ask you questions based on your CV. For example, tell me about your current job. Then they will check your arms for scars and tattoos. After this, you have to pass the reach test. When all the applicants are done with this step, the recruiters will offer a presentation about the company. The next step is the English test. The person who offered me this information told me that the written test is basic, very easy. Also, she said that everything was very organized and the CV drop-off didn't take too long because there were 9 recruiters in total. The third stage of the assessment day is a verbal test. You have to go in front of 2 of the recruiters. One will ask you questions while the other one will take notes. They will show you 3 cards with simple words. For example, nature, police, organic food. You have to choose one of them and tell them why you have chosen that word. You have to talk around 1 minute. After this stage, many candidates are eliminated. In our case, from 100 plus candidates, only 25 candidates were successful. The next stage is a group exercise. There is a map of a city and there are 20 small cards with pictures. You have to choose 15 cards and put them on the map. When you are done, a recruiter will ask you to remove 3 pictures from the map and replace them with airport cards. The entire team has to decide which pictures need to be removed. After a short break, the recruiters decided to keep all the candidates for the final interview. There was one more presentation about Etihad salary, contract and benefits. Then the last step was the final interview. It takes around 20-40 minutes and the recruiters ask questions based on each candidate's CV. For example, give me an example of situation when you had a conflict with your colleagues and how did you react? Or give me an example of situation when you delivered an outstanding service. Or what will be the main challenges for you in this job? After this, the candidates will receive the final answer on email. If you want to discover more about cabin crew life, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching and see you next time.